I think a lot of women, have done this, and some of them have made a lot of money doing it. But I mean, that's going to play out real soon, and just be more creative in your shit. Just get more creative.
Oh, you're talking about telling girls basically don't follow what Nicki and Cardi are doing.
Not really Nicki and Cardi.
And no shade, but that's very...
Just be creative.
Yeah.
I hear so much of the same being spit at me. It's rare that I hear something different.
All right, here he is.
Tell me about Downright Delicious with Yo-Yo.
With Yo-Yo, Downright Delicious.
This is a new chapter.
This is a new chapter, yes.
But sharing something that's been part of your life for a long time?
Sharing something, exposing myself, pretty much. I mean, it's been my happy place. It's been my fun. I mean, no one knew I cooked. So it's a place that, so I'm opening up myself in my home to viewers and bringing them into a place where I felt safe, and I love cooking. I'm an entertainer. I entertain. I feel like I give people my heart when I cook for them. So,
what do you put in your food that makes it sparkle? You talk about, I'm an entertainer. Like, right. What are you putting? What are you doing?
I cook with love. I mean, it's just my time. It's the patience I put in it. And that's all food is. How many ways can you make a steak? How many ways can you make a salmon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the difference is I put a lot of heart into it. I look for great recipes. I make them my own. And then I spoil my friends. I mean, it's a party when you come to my house. So if you were to come to my house, I would think of something that you would probably like if you don't eat meat, I would think of the best fish dish. And I would put my heart in it trying to, figure out, how would I make this special? And I would make a special dish for you.
What is your best dish?
Every dish I make is delicious.
Michelle Obama is coming to dinner tonight. What are you making her?
If Michelle Obama was coming to dinner.
With Oprah.
With Oprah, wow. I would
what
probably
are you making?
let me see, I would make a fish dish. I would probably make a sea bass. Probably a sea bass with some vegetables. I'd probably make some vegetables.
What are the seasonings that you love that you would recommend to the other home chefs?
Some seasonings that I love. I'm a basic seasoning person. A lot of my seasoning comes from the freshness of the ingredients I put, whether it's the scallions, the leeks, whatever I'm using to add the flavor to it. But my basic seasoning is sea salt, pepper, garlic powder, unless I'm adding in something extra that goes with a fish dish or a jerk dish, if I'm making something spicy. And those are the fines of being a cook, or learning to love to cook. You know what I mean?
So, okay, explain this to me, right? Because if you said Southern cuisine, I know what that is. You said New England cuisine, I know what that is.
Right.
I know L.A. and Southern Cal has its thing, but I can't put. I can't.
Spanish, Mexican food. Okay. Mexican food.
Okay.
California.
But that's what the black people in Southern Cal are eating.
Blacks, like
what is that? What is that? True. But what is that? What is that culture? That food culture?
We're eating soul food. We're eating soul food. From down south, Mississippi, Texas, kind of cooking. But it's really just basic Sunday dinners that are normal, around in the community. I grew up eating just macaroni and cheese. I grew up eating fried chicken, collard greens, all of that. So the desire to want to do more is from going out to these fancy restaurants, buying all of this fancy food, paying hundreds of dollars for a beautiful steak. And me loving to cook and being inquisitive, I just started creating my own dishes. I make the best oyster, sesame seed oil steak that you've ever had in a broiler, really quick, with some saucy mashed potatoes, an arugula salad, and with a margarita.
Just one margarita?
A couple.
2, maybe 4, 5?
Listen, we make a pitcher, so we don't have to keep going back and making it. You just pour it. It's in the refrigerator.
So this is the current chapter. Can we go back to the first chapter when we got to know who you were?
Yes.
Because Don't Play With My Yo-Yo was a huge record.
Yes.
Right? It was like a neutron bomb, and I could still hear that chorus in my mind all the time.
Amazing.
Don't try to play me out, right? And and the contrast of Cube's voice and your voice was dope.
Right.
Take me back to the night y'all made that record. And like what you were writing, how you were, what was the vibe? Is he like coaching you, Cube?
No,
did Dre produce that?
No. Sir Jinx produced it.
Okay.
The best part about this song was the initial, after meeting Cube and we linking together to, Cube was still staying in Los Angeles at that time. I just remember writing the songs, We couldn't really come up with something, and we'd write for hours. And one day he came, he said, I got it. I said, what? He said, you can't play with my yo-yo. And we were just like, yes, that's it. You can't play with my, and it just went on. Sir Jinx added the, don't try to play me out, which is actually Latifah.
Right.
The sample of Latifah.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it was. I mean, in the studio, yes, of course he coached me. I was always, I never was in the studio when I wasn't a studio performer. I was a stage performer.
Right.
I was always performing around Los Angeles. So in the studio, he and Jinx would say, teach me how to ride the beat. On the top beat, I like the down beat, which, I still perform to the down beat. But in the studio, he was on the one, come on, right here. So, yeah.
Wait, so for the studio, what would be the difference between being on the one versus being on the two?
On this, it's preference. It's the way it's however you want to deliver the song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cube had a specific way. He's the on top.
Right.
Me, I'm just a little under.
Yeah, KRS-One told me you got to be a little behind.
Yeah, and Cube likes to be on the.
That's where that's where the coolness comes in, that you're a little behind.
And that's me. I'm right in the rock. I'm right when you get ready to rock with it. Right with the rock start. I'm right there.
Did you do the chorus first?
We did. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I think we did the chorus first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't always. It wasn't all the way together. We did the chorus first. You can't play with my yo-yo. Great question. Great question. Yeah. That's a great question. I can't remember if we did the hook first.
When you had the hook together, did you feel like, yeah, that's some catchy shit?
I didn't know. I liked the song immediately because it took me from a young girl who was just rapping. I had my own thing, but this seemed produced to me. This seemed like I was taking a step up. Of course it was a hit. We actually didn't have the song that we used originally wasn't the song when we remixed it with the what is it? The Isley Brothers. Is it the Isley Brothers?
Okay.
Is it the Isley Brothers? Does anybody know? Hello, the world out there? No one knows.
We'll get an answer. We'll give you an answer in a second.
Well, yeah. Is it the Isley Brothers? Yeah.
But part of the brilliance of the record,
they remixed it. Sorry,
yeah.
And that became the biggest song. That's when I really liked the song. I didn't like the original music of the first song, and when Sir Jinx remixed it, that's what.
It's a little of the Latifah vibe of like, you're gonna respect me, but not in a way that is off-putting to the guys, right? So she puts herself up like I'm not to be played with. Don't mess with me. But there's also kind of thing of like, well, that I want her, right? Because she's not easy, right? She's not right. I have to work for that. That's what I want, right? So it was kind of like I'm like, yeah, cool. Like she's saying, like, respect me. I'm like, yeah, I can dig that.
When I first started music, we came from a generation where NWA was more so of, what was. Like
a bitch is a bitch.
Bitch is a bitch.
Strawberries.
No, they had so many, but
Yeah.
So it was the whole vibe. It was me just defending, the women way before I even knew anything about, Latifah did. Who you calling a bitch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't know about what Latifah was doing.
I knew about her, but not as big as we were just young girls defending rap in Los Angeles.
Right. So you're speaking back to Cube and NWA.
Right. That's where the defense came from. but meeting up with Ice Cube and having Ice Cube work with me, because I was like, I don't want to work with, I want to work, I have my style.
You didn't want to work with him at first.
Well, I didn't know if I wanted to work with him. I had to meet him, and, I'm thinking, this whole thing, no, I didn't know. I didn't know that he wrote the lyrics for NWA. I had no history I never researched who NWA was. We just bumped their music, you know what I mean?
Okay.
They were just big in Los Angeles, but there were a lot of big artists. But I was just thinking, like, wow, how could I go home and tell my mother that Ice Cube from NWA wants to meet me, and work with me,
I mean, I know a lot of women talk about being hip hop fans, especially at that time,
right,
put you in a difficult position because they're talking about bitches and hoes and they're saying crazy things about women.
Right.
And still, I love the music. I like these brothers, even though they're saying crazy things. We got to go to the club to meet the guys. That's what they're playing. But you're putting me in a position. And you seem to have felt that acutely.
Of course. I mean, you're young. I mean, you really wasn't a fan. It wasn't something that you just, you loved the music. Hip hop was fairly new still then.
Sure.
This is the early.
Yeah.
I mean, I met Cube in 89?
Yeah, you're early 90s hitting, like that's still early.
89.
It's the beginning of like the true nationalization of hip hop.
And mind you, hip hop for me was, Sugar Hill Gang at the same time. I mean, you were listening to Run DMC. So when I'm thinking to be big in hip hop or to even work with someone, the range was so wide.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, Ice Cube, NWA, you're thinking, Roxanne Shante, Salt and Pepper, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just, but we didn't realize how big NWA was. I didn't realize. No, I mean, we had a lot of big artists. We had King T, we had Battle Ram, we had, Dr. Dre and their crew. I mean, it was just like a vibe.
But NWA was like historic, it's right away.
Well, the songs were big. It wasn't historic right away. I mean, it was always big, but but it wasn't really. I mean, we had a lot of.
I feel like to me, it felt like they were special in the middle of their career. Like this is something they are doing something different. I felt Public Enemy and NWA was doing something entirely different than other people.
I mean, but living in it was a lot different. You know what I mean? So you're hearing all these different songs. You really didn't know. They were consistent, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was really, it was a different tone.
Yeah.
For a 17-year-old to really want to be attracted to, thinking that, this is the next big thing. Oh, we heard them a lot. I mean, we didn't really have a lot of radio stations to play them. We listened to them on one station. I mean, so we'll hear, a tape of them, and then we listen to K-Day, and we'll hear LL Cool J, I Need Love. I mean, so, it was so it was a lot different. It was a different variety that you had to choose from. So, but meeting Ice Cube, I never really hung out with NWA or knew them. I met Ice Cube after he left NWA. So I never got a chance to hang with the clique. But meeting Ice Cube, I got a chance to understand him as a man and meet him, and the demeanor of him instantly changed my perception of who he was. And it gave me just a quick insight of what hip hop was. And, because here I was, understanding that, oh, wow, he's a businessman. He's a professional. I mean, he's smart.
Yeah.
He's talented. Yeah. So I got a chance to see the man behind, the image or the voice that we heard without meeting him.
When did you start rapping?
I started in 6th grade, maybe.
Why?
Poet, loved the music, following the trend.
What songs did you love that made you think, I could do that?
I mean, every hip-hop song, to hip-hop, Sugar Hill Gang, Roxanne. We had a show called Roxanne's Twins. Of course, we called ourselves the Def City Girls, mimicking, of course, Run DMC.
Roxanne Shantae's voice was so ill.
She was a gangster.
Oh, my God.
She was a gangster. I loved it. Yeah, she was the first woman to defend women against men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the Roxanne Twins. We were the Def City Girls. But I loved Cameo. To me, used to rap.
Okay. Yeah.
There were so many songs. I forget. I'm Blondie. Sequence.
Okay.
There was a lot of different songs because that's when I think the mixing, the instrumentals came in. We wanted to rap over the instrumentals, and
so you're like, I can do that.
Yeah, I was doing it.
at, you said 12, sixth grade, you said?
Sixth
12?
grade, I had started rapping. I started doing talent shows. Our name was humongous, 12th grade. Everybody knew of us. We kicked everybody's ass. Nobody could beat us in battling. We won every talent show, competition.
And that's...
The whole auditorium knew the Dev City Girls, or who we be. We're the devastating, fascinating, cold MCs, rocking this place. Everyone would say it. We had a theme song. We had costumes. We would perform at the skating rink. We had a fan club.
Were you thinking maybe I can get to the next level?
Never.
No.
Never. I didn't even know what the next level was. 17 years old, fresh out of high school. You know, really, I've been an entertainer my whole life. My mother used to always talk shit about me. You know, leaving the house, I always had something to do. You know, I always had something.
But this is very 80s hip hop that most of those people were not thinking careerist.
No, never.
Because there wasn't really that much of an infrastructure to make a career out of it. So people are thinking album now, tour now, but not like now people are clearly like thinking long term and having very long careers. Most of the folks who started in the 80s did not have long careers because nobody was getting money like that and thinking like that. So, but you propel when Cube calls.
Yes. Yes, and meeting Sylvia Rome. I'm thinking, you know, I knew it was special. I mean, because I worked on Cube's album, America's Most Wanted. And I did that song with him. So he had his first show in New York. You know, I did some touring with him. He had his first show in New York at the Apollo. This is when I knew it was huge. I mean, it was the biggest show. He came out, you know, where he's swinging the bat. And he's just like, and I'm come out like, wait. Who you calling? You know, it was just the energy. I knew right then instantly. I'm just on stage like, wow. They would throw money on stage. We did 2 shows. It was one of the biggest shows ever, historical for me. I had chills. I just was, you know, I was on the, you know, on the complete high. I was like, wow, this is major. And then, you know, doing the big arenas, just let me know, like, wow, this is something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He / the LA world needed you or someone like you because it was very masculine. And right? And at some point, like there's room and we gotta leaven this a tiny bit, right? So I mean, like, if it wasn't you, they would have had to have met you, right?
They were girls. They had the JJ Fad. I just think the concept of who, I mean, yeah,
you
that was
fit
some
the
great
hip hop vibe. JJ Fad had a great record, but they were a little bit different, right? You could stand next to NWA and it made sense.
Yeah. Or Ice Cube.
Yeah. I mean, you were very much LA, and LA needed you.
Yeah, I was LA. I was one of the first. I'm telling you, I don't know anybody who could take me under. I tried them all. I went to school with them all. Seriously, no one could. There was a lot of females out there, but.
Did you battle Cube?
No, never.
Yeah.
We went straight to the top. I met Cube. We got to work. Sylvia Rome, the song.
Why are there so many great MCs out of Compton? What is that? Like, I think there's more MCs per capita out of Compton than anywhere else.
I think Compton is just, it's an urban market. South Central Los Angeles, Inglewood, Long Beach. Those were the areas that they kept us. So a lot of blacks wasn't allowed on the other side of Wilshire, north of Wilshire. So all of this area. So when you say you're from Compton, you're from Inglewood, Linwood, everybody has touched a part of it. It just depends. You know what I mean? You're not just from one section. Nobody, it's not just Compton. I think South Central Los Angeles, I could say, born in Compton, grew up in South Central Los Angeles, lived in Carson, California. My kids grew up in Beverly. So it's just sections.
Yeah.
And I used to didn't want to talk about those sections until because I felt like it was stereotypical of them to kind of, have a notion of who you were or what you represented. And I just feel like people didn't have a lot of space to grow. So before I kind of avoided saying, Compton, South Central Los Angeles. And people say, well, where are you from? I say, I'm from Los Angeles.
Is there not something special about Compton? And every area is special, but Compton has done so much to create culture.
With growth comes that kind of knowledge. But when you're young and all you see is this image that the world is betraying over, hip hop and the community.
Like I know wherever I go.
I didn't know how to explain, just the dynamic of a city, or not just Compton, South Central.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The beauty of it. And the beauty of
wherever I go, Brooklyn, people have a vision of what that means.
Yeah, but it's
wherever
a
you go,
different.
South Central, people have a vision of what that means. But you're like, I don't like what you think it is.
Until I was able to explain it and give it some depth and go back in there and understand who I am and what I represent from that neighborhood. Now I can proudly say I am from every aspect of South Central Los Angeles, Compton. I mean well, I go back, I give into it, I pour into it, I build them up. You know what I mean? So yes, it's a big difference now for me to talk about it.
Can we talk about Tupac?
No.
No?
No, my kid's father hates that. It's like, enough of that shit. I'm sorry. No disrespect, but he's like, listen, how long did you date him? Come on, another interview with him, and I'm going to take my name off your kids.
Well, I don't want to cause problems at home. It's just a point of hip hop history.
I know. But I love Pac. I'm so glad that he's getting his star. Well deserved. He's young, gifted, and talented.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I mean, I just feel like,
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. There's some women artists who I'm close enough to have like real conversations.
Yes.
And they talk about the sexism that they have experienced in the industry, and things like, I'm in a session that I paid for, and the men in the session who I am are talking down to me, and things like that, or just A&R executives not taking you as seriously.
Yeah.
Have you experienced sexism like that?
Of course I have. I mean, it's just the fact that you had to deal with people who didn't want to deal with you. Just walk around you, talk around you. Of course, but I mean, I didn't really understand it then. It was just one girl to one click. I knew the record company wanted the advice of the production company. At my time, it was Ice Cube, the Street Knowledge Productions. So, but yeah, of course you did. I mean, the fight to have a voice was always a road to a real one.
Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't easy to find your voice. It wasn't easy to say what you wanted. It wasn't easy to change. It wasn't easy to get information.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to, it really wasn't easy. But over time, I think, I don't know. Over time, it's still sexist.
Yeah.
I mean, women have fought for their voice now. You have more women in position than you have men. And, and now women's voices are being heard. So, I mean, it's hard to ignore them. They're doing the shit on their own. They're very successful. You have a lot of business women behind the scenes now, where hip hop was mainly just men. I mean, the women that they had were just like pawns. You would just do what the men say do. And that's behind the scenes. That's not even for artists. That's just those who worked for the labels.
Yeah. I think also with the audience, specifically the hip hop audience, is overwhelmingly male. I think it kind of feels like a boys' club.
Definitely a boys' club.
Yeah. And when women enter as artists, it's like we're taking a harder look at you, right? Like you have to
and women really had to women really had to have that you don't give a fuck attitude too. You know what I mean? You had to really stand your ground. You had to really be secure. You had to really be tough. I think I became more tougher in the game than I was before I started.
Really?
Of course, without question. I mean, literally had to, stand firm on a lot of things, defend myself. I mean, have some harsh words be said out loud, that people took offense to and thought that because, opportunities were given or, that I shouldn't have. But, yeah, I definitely had to take a stand in a lot of situations.
And you are a female artist who was never about like selling sex.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Right.
always clothed, always respectful,
Right.
talk to me as an MC. I'm not doing that thing. And I understand the value of that.
That came afterwards, though. That came afterwards.
Largely afterwards, yes.
Yeah, because I always wanted to show my feminist side. I always wanted to be a lady. I remember, okay, the style of hip hop, okay, me just getting in it, okay, this is kind of like the style, I'll adjust to it. But I remember after a while, I wanted to like soften it, like, okay, enough of that, journalists asking, was I gay, all the rappers gay. I was offended by that. Like, no, I'm not gay. Do I look like I'm gay? I mean, nothing wrong with those who are, of course, but I wasn't. And so I didn't want to be portrayed as it. So now I have this in the back of my head thinking like, wow, I think I'm gay. Like, is that what they think of the artist, a female artist, So trying to find a happy medium with myself into a area that I'm new, trying to understand what the hell everybody's talking about without pretending like I know, asking questions without looking dumb, and just sometimes sitting quiet. So it was really challenging to find my place, that I felt comfortable and secure enough to have the vicious fights or the vicious stands that, I was trying to take slowly but surely.
The question of are you gay in the 90s meant something a lot different than it does today.
Of course.
We were far less accepting as a nation
of course.
then. And to have somebody say that about somebody who's trying to glow up in the public eye, that could potentially like hurt or end your career.
Well, no. I didn't look at it like that at that time. I mean, for girls, it wasn't a thing. For guys, it was. But for girls, it really wasn't a thing. It's just that just wasn't me. I wanted to be sexy and cute.
There was like
and I wanted, and you didn't see that,
Yeah. There was like a whole witch hunt almost for the gay rapper. Do you remember this?
Right. We never found him, did we? Did we ever find who it was?
I don't think
they looked. I know
there was
they looked.
Was it start from an article or something?
Yeah, you remember that?
Somebody
That's
said
crazy,
there wasn't, and then we were all it was an anonymous article, right?
Right.
And like who it and
I know, yeah. Wow. I remember that. Yeah, that's crazy. I know, right?
Can't believe we did that.
Right.
That was crazy.
Horrible.
Horrible.
The search. And we were looking too.
Right? It was totally like Salem witch trials. Who's the gay rapper? We're gonna get like, oh my God.
Right. Whoever you are, come out now. You can blow the hell up quickly.
Oh my God. Your voice is special. Just the sound of your voice, I think, is great. And just it was high, but not too high. It was piercing in a good way. It like cut through the track. Like it was a really special instrument.
Yeah. Thank you. I wish I could sing, but I couldn't. Yeah, no, it's just, me. It's just my sound. That's so crazy. People know me for my voice. No matter what.
But you started as it's interesting you started as a stage performer because a lot of rappers start as studio performers.
Right. Which has kept me, thank God, right? Because I could hold a crowd. I could entertain because that's what I started out as.
But the sound that you heard as a stage performer is entirely different than the sound you get when you get headphones and you actually hear the way that we hear you. Right. Because your voice doesn't sound the same to you as it does to me.
That's right. That takes a lot of work. And that's why I have the Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop. I teach kids that because that took me a little adjusting and getting used to. I tell them, you have to do both inside and outside. A lot of people want to jump straight to the studio, and then they get on the stage and they can't perform. So it's a good balance.
Wait,
and I had the best teacher.
In Cube?
Yes, of course.
in the way that you teach people to be an MC, what do you teach them? What is the curriculum?
Well, I teach them to, well, there's beat production, you know, there's lyrics class, so kids learn to write lyrics.
Well, what are you talking about in the lyrics class?
They learn how to write.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we teach, well, I do 2 classes. We have teachers that do the lyrics classes. They learn the structure of writing, you know, the different formulas, the different patterns of rhyming. They talk about stories and how to bring that story into, you know, into a song, you know, talk about the hook of the song, what brings it in. Yeah, they work with producers and
lyrics
artists.
And what else?
Lyrics, beat production, vocal training. We have theater, and did I say dance?
No.
Yeah, and dance.
Yeah, there's a theatricality to hip hop, but you're kind of pretending that you're not, right?
Yeah.
Like an R&B singer is going to overtly come out, shirt wide open, and like he's performing for you or she's performing for you, right? Like the rapper's kind of pretending like I'm just here, just doing my thing.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of rappers there's a lot of kids who just want to be in music, and hip hop is just so popular. There was no place for a kid to go and learn how to write.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I've learned how powerful lyrics are, and how much the kids are watching. So, you know, having that kind of focus on something that's so big in our community, but yet there's no direction for these kids. And I just feel like no one's really in the community the way and loves the community like me. Of course, being an artist, I just decided to take that and bring in all of my celebrity friends, do it in the urban community, let them come out, get a taste of success or fame, or just be taught everything I thought I wasn't taught.
How do you
jumping into this game?
How do you teach them how to flow?
Well, some of them come in with it. A lot of them come in, you know, it's a style already.
But if somebody's not there yet, right? Like I feel like I could teach you how to write a rhyme, but to be able to make it come to life against a beat, that's different.
Yeah, well, they have to learn the beats. You know, it all comes together. They learn the beat. You know, they learn the beats, and you flow with it. Some of them have a different flow. They teach me a different flow. Some of these young kids have a different pattern that I could have never taught them.
Right.
You know, because really it's just your style, and we adjust to their style and help them form it.
I mean, that to me is my favorite part of hip hop, of hearing how this given MC is flowing through the track, right?
Of course.
And you might be talking nonsense, you might be talking conscious, you might be talking. I mean, I have a feeling like most rap songs, the thesis of most rap songs is I'm the shit.
Right.
Period. Most of the time that's what you're saying, right? You can't play with my yo-yo, like I'm the shit. You can't, but right. Also, my DJ's the shit. But back to the main part, I'm the shit. Like, and
back to me.
You know, right? I'm tough. I got money. I got girls. I got, you know, I do whatever I want all day. You know,
and that's what we try to get them to not talk about. So there is a segment, you know, a section where we say, listen, you know, no boasting, no bragging, you know, to try to get themselves out of that. And to be honest, it's hard for them to do. That's an exercise that's hard to do.
You know, I could see where folks would listen to what's out there and go, well, what else is there to talk about?
And that's exactly what they do.
We used to tell stories.
Yeah.
Your era was a lot of stories.
Yeah.
There's not that many stories.
Right.
Like story songs.
Right.
I miss that.
Yeah. I know. We all do. We all do. But look at hip hop. I mean, 50 years, it's coming back. So many people, no matter who you are, how old you are. I mean, they're turning on these stations that are playing our kind of music that we love. I mean, I'm finding myself going back to listen to music my mom listened to. You know, we do want great music.
I hate to complain, but I feel like, you know, in your era, one of the things I loved, that 90s, 80s, 90s, I knew where you were from.
Yeah.
And I got a sense of the vibe of LA from you, or the vibe of Jersey from Tretch, or the vibe of Miami from Luke and them, Wayne, whatever. And now I feel like it's more of a flat sound of where you could come from anywhere. You use the words and the details.
Listen, and I tell them all the time when, you know, the young ones come and they, yo, can I spit something with you? Of course you can. Let me hear you, you know. It's just the same. And, you know, I talk to them. After I'm disappointed in what I hear, I'll say, you know, that you could be great because I like your flow or I like this. Or I'm like, you know, but listen, I mean, I know I don't want to disappoint you, but that right there is just, I mean, I don't like it. You know, I don't like the subject. I don't like what you're talking about. I mean, you know, I think a lot of women, you know, have done this and, you know, some of them have made a lot of money doing it. But I mean, that's going to play out real soon. And, you know, just be more creative in your shit. Just get more creative, you know.
Oh, you're talking about telling girls basically don't follow what Nicki and Cardi are doing.
Not really Nicki and Cardi.
And no shade, but that's very...
Just, you know, just be creative. Yeah. You know, I hear so much of the same being spit at me. It's rare that I hear something different. You know, and if you want to tell someone something, tell them the truth in a nice way because it could give them some love and some help. You know, if you really want it, you can get it, you know. I mean, if you have a hit song and it sounds great, then someone would probably buy it. But how long would that last if this is all you have to do? You know, unless you're getting with a good, you know, team.
I feel like you got to have a great sounding voice. And that is either God-given or you don't have it. But do you think...
I've heard people that I hate their voice and they're doing very well.
You know, I want to say like who? Like who are you referring to?
Right. The same one you're thinking of. But they're doing very well. No, I you know what? You can't really judge this now. There's no way to judge it. How do you judge today's talent?
Well, I just meant historically. I think most of the MCs we love, one of the things we love is we love the sound of their voice.
Right.
Right. We also love the way they flow. We also love what they talk about.
Listen, and there are some new artists that I love. I mean, just the voice. I love. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's the beat for me.
Wait, do you still love current hip hop?
I do. Some of it.
Some of it.
Yeah.
It's different.
Some of it I do like. I do. But after a while.
But it's different.
After a while.
We're born in the same year. And I'm like.
Listen.
But before, I loved all of it.
I mean, it's some I do like, you know.
Who do you like?
Young Breezy, Yes on Me, babe.
Okay.
I love, there's some I like. I don't like the crazy ones, but some I do. I don't know. I guess I'm TikToked out. I have a 19-year-old. I don't know. Sometimes I hear the hooks of this stuff so much that when it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, you know. But to hear it when I'm
TikTok's the best radio station in America.
But to hear it when I'm in, you know, for so long, like I can come home and my daughter's playing. I'm like, hey, no, come on, don't.
But your kids are turning you out of music.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Your kids are how old?
19 and 28. Yeah.
19 in college?
Yep.
Where?
Seton Hall.
Oh, here in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Yep. Oh, fantastic.
So, some music I love, you know, it depends on my hype. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, then after I'm like, hey, come on now, please.
Do they have a sense of who you are as far as a person in hip hop history?
Yes. And do you know how good that feels? Because at first, you know, it took a lot of work to build the foundation that I have with my family, for us to, you know, and yes, we are.
But I mean, like your kids come along at a point when they can't remember, they can't envision what you were like when you were cool.
They get it.
And you're like, look, here's a video of mom crushing it.
They bring them to me.
They do.
Mom, oh my God, look at this. Where were you? We should put this on t-shirts. Oh, you're so cute. Look at this. Mom, why you didn't play this video? Look at mom. Oh, you know, so they've
heard all the records. And
yes. And I'm like, you know, so yeah. And this feels good because I didn't really think, you know, they'd care. They do. It matters. So I know. That's because I'm not rapping anymore.
They're proud of mom.
Cooking. No, I'm just joking. They don't care.
Do they like your cooking?
Yes. Okay. Listen. They've tried the ones that didn't make it. It's like, no, mom, you know, and they'll tell me if they like it. They'll tell me what's their favorite dishes, you know.
My kids, man, you know, I cook this rigatoni bolognese. That's my dish, right?
Oh, okay.
Right. And they like it. But, you know, I want to keep trying.
Right.
How can I make it a little creamier? Can I add more?
Right. And so you want me to taste it?
What does tomato paste do? What does this have? And if I make the slightest change, you'd be like,
I know, right?
what's in this? This is like a little garlic powder. Like, I don't like it. Yeah. Why don't you just make it the old
the
way?
same way,
Like,
right.
I know, but I tried, this time we use pork instead of like,
right. Don't keep it the same. And that's what I love about cooking. And that's why I really love this cooking show, because it's just me learning and loving and showing my adventurous side to adding more ingredients, a whole nother way. I'm meeting people who are chefs and foodies like me who loves to experience. We're sharing recipes, we're trying, so I like that. I like this adulting. Nobody's in the kitchen. Nobody wants to break grate cheese or wash dishes, so no one's in there to bother me.
Did you have the idea for the show and look for a home, or did they call you and say?
Yeah, no. It was kind of like I started cooking on my social media, and I got a call from Powerhouse, and we put together some things, and we did a sizzle reel, and it took about 2 years of us working together. And shout out to Powerhouse Productions. We got a hit from Aspire TV.
So it was more Powerhouse came to you like, let's put out something.
Well, Powerhouse,
and then
Powerhouse
you searched for.
Yeah, well, they said, we worked together on different ventures, nothing with food. And, they said, hey, listen, look like you'll be a great fit. I see you, cooking and doing all this other stuff. So along the journey, we worked our way up to having a cooking show.
Amazing.
I know.
Do you get food from Khalees?
I don't.
She's a farmer.
I know. I love watching her.
And
I cannot wait to go and see. I watch her stuff as well.
Yeah.
I love her journey.
Yeah.
I like to see that. That's what it's all about. The journey of discovery, discovering new things. I love the fact that she likes it fresh. I like my food fresh too.
Yeah.
I like adding all that, the different ingredients and things that I don't even know about.
If I said we can go to any restaurant you want tonight, I'll take care of you. Where are we going?
Oh, where would we go? Goodness. I don't know. I don't really like a steakhouse. I know people love steakhouses, and I went to one yesterday that was very delicious. I can't think of the name. It was over in Manhattan. I would like do you guys remember what's her name? It was a Creole. She's South Carolina. She's here, Jezebel's. I don't know if Jezebel's is still here. Do you know who Jezebel's?
I don't know.
It's closed.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
She was from South Carolina, and she had these Creole kind of dishes, and very sultry mixed with a little Southern, but nice ingredients. It was just nice. So I like great food.
But you keep talking about the South. You really like that Southern soul food.
I don't cook soul food.
Okay.
I don't make macaroni and cheese.
Where are your parents from?
My mother's from California, but her mother's from Mississippi.
Your grandparents came from Mississippi.
Yes. Yeah. And
to Southern California.
Yes.
Same as Snoop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that Mississippi to Southern Cal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my dad came from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna eat soul food.
I don't really eat.
Want.
No, I don't really like soul food. I like to eat. I don't really like soul food.
So,
that's why I cook. I don't cook soul food.
So what do you like? Where do you want to go eat?
I'd like to go to a. I don't want Italian food right now because I'm too much pasta. I'd probably just take a. I don't know where I'd go. I don't know where I'd go. I mean, of the places I like small little restaurants. There's this place called Mustache Cafe in Los Angeles. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Just nice dishes, fish dishes.
Yeah.
I like fish. I like vegetables. I do like steaks now and then, but I don't do pasta a lot.
Have you been to the National Museum of African American History and Culture?
Yeah, yes.
And their cafe is so cool to me. Right?
What do they have in their cafe?
They have, I believe it's 5 different stations representing different African American food cultures, so like mid-Atlantic, deep South, and it blew my mind that they had continued the mission of the museum there with so much detail. And with the
Yes. See, this journey feels so good for me with cooking because, see, it's open to the fact that I love to cook, the fact that I can invite you into my home, entertain you, because that's what it started from. It started from me entertaining, having company, and cooking great food.
You do fried chicken?
I do fried chicken.
What do you do differently than the next person?
I just do. I mean, what do I do different? I add breadcrumbs to my flour. I dip my bread. I add, I dip my chicken. That's about it.
Yeah.
Season my flour.
I mean, good fried chicken that's it right there. That's the line right there.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what make me fall in love. Oh, look at the fried chicken.
Yeah.
Oh.
Listen, you have my steak, my salmon, you have my catfish etouffee. You're gonna fall in love. My food is a love dish. It's a growing love for me. I'm always looking for different recipes to cook. I just stumbled on my new Super Bowl, which is my jerk salmon bowl, which I make with rice. My I don't know if I'm gonna put black beans in it. I didn't before. I used a mango salad with the homemade raspberry sauce that I made. I created. Delicious. I put some berries in it.
Part of what I respect so much about chefs is that cooking is like in the middle of the Venn diagram of like art and science.
Right.
Right? And you have to understand both of those things.
And not only that, I mean, the art for me is the love. I mean, it's the creativity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going down these aisles and discovering new items to cook with.
But you understand this is going to taste good with that.
Because I love food.
But if I put that with that, that's not going to work.
Because I've been to so many great restaurants. I've eaten so many great places. I've been to so many places around the world, and I know that I want a little pepper with this sweetness. And the discovery for me is finding it.
Yeah.
I want a little. When I go to restaurants and they don't have a sauce for this, I had this fish yesterday. I said, "Can you bring me something spicy and sweet?" He made up something real quick. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
But that discovery, am I that witty with it? No.
Do you want to have a restaurant?
I don't know if I want to. No, I don't want to have a restaurant. No.
Just be a TV chef.
No, not just be a TV chef either. I mean, I love to cook. I'd love to do a food truck, but not forever. You know what I mean? Just, because the passion is so strong. Yeah. I'm learning. It's a fresh passion. I'm very excited about it. It's truly something new. I haven't felt this good since I put out my first album.
Aww.
Yeah, it's like birthed in a new baby. And it's so raw. It's not, you want to say I know it all, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know it all.
Yeah.
I'm learning. That's the fun part for me. I have a new venture. I'm at the beginning of something new. And it's fresh, and I really love it. When people come to my house, I tell them all the time, they're waiting on the camera because, it's a party. You ring my doorbell, I got the party, the music is already going. The Sonos is through the whole house. They coming in, they ready for, if they don't get the camera in their face, they're like, wait, you're not having a party? You're not cooking? What, because people expect that. That's me. You come in my house, I'm telling you. You welcome in, and it's bright, light, nice music. Of course, I'm going to ask you if you want water or a cocktail or a beer. And I'm going to say, are you hungry? And I'm going to feed you. And I'm going to go get the food fresh. I'm going to go get the meat fresh from my meat guy. And whatever you want, I'm going to cook it for you right then and there.
But you're always a performer. So if it's music, if it's this, it's like I'm
Probably
performing,
so.
I'm entertaining you.
Probably so, yeah.
It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, it's the same love I give.
Yeah.
It's the same love I give. Yep, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are some down times, when kitchen, I'm in the kitchen with the kids.
Sure.
And no one's there, but I'm down there and I'm just in my own zone. It's like a free space. It's almost like because I'm settled in my life now and I've accepted this I've accepted that, who I am.
Yeah.
I'm okay with who I am. I'm not trying to be rich or famous, or I don't have to do shows. I'm well taken care of. So peace in the kitchen. My kids, they know I'm home. They smell the food. My daughter's calling me. She's the oldest one. She lives alone. She's calling me, asking me for recipes. Sanai's upstairs in her room, TikToking or playing music, or you know what I mean? But she smells the food. They come down, stairs to the kitchen. What are you doing? Let me taste it. Just really chill. And I like that. So you'll see that on the show.
Beautiful.
Yeah.